Hello there, educators from across the globe and learning enthusiasts. I'm happy to walk you through our Global Case Study Challenge through the Virtual Exchange project that we are going to run for the 6th time already this fall 2023. So what I'm going to do is I'm sharing with you the timeline that you will also have available when you look at the description of this short video. And I will explain to you how our learning design is conceptualized and what the student tasks, but also the educator tasks entail. So what you can see here is a short timeline. We invite every year around 15 educators from across the globe with their students to join our virtual exchange project. That means that we have around 400 to 500 students who will work in small global virtual teams between the period of beginning of October until the end of November on case studies. This is the aim of our project. Global Case Study Challenge. The cases that we are using are business cases that we ourselves wrote about the merger of a multinational company, an IT consulting company that is still an ongoing process, and it's all around topics in the area of change management, human resource, leadership, cultural, intercultural communication, and learning and development. So each group will work on one case that is a business-oriented case. What you can see here on the timeline is we are offering 2 different types of live sessions. So at the bottom in the yellowish track, you see that these are the live sessions for students and educators. All live sessions for students are offered twice because of the global outreach of our project, meaning that we offer each session at 11:30 CET time zone and at 6:30 p.m. time zone CET as well. At the same days when the student live sessions are happening, also you're offering during lunchtime CET at 3 p.m. CET, we are offering educator check-in sessions. They should be helpful for you as educators to ask all the questions that you're not clear about, to exchange with colleagues from across the globe on how to better debrief or what kind of debrief strategies to use with your students in order to help them have a better learning experience. So yellow track, students and educators, green track, this is for educators only. Now I'll walk you through the process. The educators are starting with a quick live session mid of September, where we are kicking off the whole Global Case Study Challenge's 6th edition. This is also so that you get to know each other better, and we are still going to answer all the open questions that there might be. For you as educators, please assume that your students will have a workload of 1.5 ECTS. 1 ECTS, European Credit Transfer System, is approximately 28 hours. 1.5, you can calculate around 45 hours workload for the students for the Global Case Study Challenge. It is important to communicate this also and also embed it accordingly into your course design. Most educators are joining with the course that they're teaching. So for example, I'm teaching human resource management at a university. I'm teaching another course, it's called international business. Both courses, with students of both courses, I'm joining, and 30% of the grade is dedicated to the participation of the Global Case Study Challenge. This is mandatory. So we can only accept educators who are also grading the participation in our virtual exchange project. That there is, because we had, unfortunately, not very good experience if students are joining without being graded. That is why if you're joining, you need to make sure that you can grade, or you can use 30% of your grade, the course that you're teaching, for the Global Case Study Challenge. There are also educators, but definitely not that many, who are dedicating a whole course that is, for example, called Global Virtual Teamwork, and 100% of the course grade comes out of the Global Case Study Challenge, which is also fine for us, but it must be a minimum of 30%. For you as educators, your learning journey starts mid of September. This is also more or less the time when we need to get from you the participation list. You get a template from us, an Excel template, where we need to get the name, the first name, the last name, plus the student email address, so that we, with the beginning of October, can onboard all the students to our learning management system. At the Global Case Study Challenge, we are using Moodle as a learning platform. The server is based in Germany, and all our students and all our educators by the beginning of October are onboarded to the learning management system, and everything, all the activities, all the information, and all the communication only goes through the communication forum or private message on the learning management platform. As you can see, the students are onboarded the 4th of October, of probably 2-3 days earlier. We onboard them to the LMS. They have access to the names of their group colleagues. They have access to all the information, the timelines, the deadlines, and so on and so forth. On the 4th of October, we are having for the students already their first live session. In the first live session that we are offering, they are always very interactive, they are engaging, and we are trying to use many different strategies in order to make the learning experience really extraordinary. You must also imagine that those live sessions for many of the students are a very unique way of learning, because it's a very big group. They are connecting with people from across the globe that not necessarily will be in their teams. So it's really a very motivating atmosphere. In the first live session, it is all about how to collaborate in global virtual teams. Why? Because for us, it is important that those groups that work together on case studies really also understand the students, our learners, that it is important that they focus on the team process, because our experience and also research suggests that teams who have a great team atmosphere, a great team bonding, they also work better and have a better outcome. So this is more or less the content that we are diving in deeply with the students in the first live session. They are getting the recording of the live session plus additional material afterwards. Why is this important? Because one of the tasks that students need to do is they need to conduct, facilitate with their group a virtual team building activity. The virtual team building activity is done in the group. They decide on what kind of activity they're doing. We provide them with examples, and afterwards they need to hand in a reflection video following questions that we are providing them with in order to reflect on the team building experience. That video is being graded. More or less at the same time, there is also an individual task that students need to go through. We told you several times that one of our focus in the Global Case Study Challenge is sustainability. So we embedded SDG goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, into our learning design, into the literature, into the cases, but also we have a self-discovery quiz at the beginning where students need to go through a multiple choice quiz through the learning management system. So this is another activity. SDG quiz is individual, the group team building activity and the reflection video is a group activity. After that, you can see here on the 25th of October, we are having the second student live session where it is all about giving a virtual presentation. Why is this so important for us? Because what we see when we work with higher education institutions, but also with companies, and we are also consulting with companies and global virtual teams and leaders, we do see that even though we are all working in the virtual space and we are participating in virtual meetings, we have to give virtual presentations. Many of them are really still pretty disappointing. This is why we are preparing the student in the second live session on how to rock the virtual stage. Why? Because they as a team need to present the case study in a global virtual conference, which is like also one of our big signature events that is happening on the 22nd of November. This is the second live session. While we are here with the students, they are already working on the cases. They're working on the cases. If they have questions, they can always come to us, or they ask you as their corresponding on-site or national educators to say so. But also we are scheduling on the 15th of November a live session where it's only about Q&A. But as I said, students always have the possibility asynchronously to discuss with us any kind of doubts that are arising through the Moodle communication forums. You can see here that on the 22nd of November, we have the Global Virtual Conference for Educators and Students. That is really a pretty long conference because you must imagine we have 500 participants who are joining. We are starting off like with a keynote speaker. We have an intro, we have music at the beginning. So we try to make it really an interactive, bombastic event, to say so, an extraordinary experience for you as educators, but also for the students. And after like 30, 40 minutes in the main room, we split up into sub-tracks. What does this mean? Like in a real conference, of course, we have 100 student teams, we cannot have 100 presentations one after the other, right? So there are concurring sub-tracks that each of you as an educator is moderating. So you are like a sub-track chair. This is also one of your activities during the Global Case Study Challenge beyond the grading. I will talk about that in a second. Global Case Study Challenge, the conference on the 22nd of November. You see here that until then, you always as educators were offered check-in sessions on the same days when the student live sessions are happening. Also, the educator check-ins are being recorded. 2 days before the Global Virtual Conference, we provide you with a conference rehearsal. So we have everything organized through our partner Virtual Space Hero, which is an event production company. And what we are doing is, during that conference rehearsal, we are walking you through exactly the tasks that you need to accomplish during the conference. It is something that we always support you with technical support or with didactical suggestions if you need any, and that is happening 2 days before the conference. And last but not least, the cycle for you as educators, but also for our students, is sort of closing on the 29th of November, where we have another reflection opportunity, which is important for experiential learning cycles, right? For the students, what we do is we organize a debrief session with international managers, where the international managers, top CEOs of multinational or NGOs, discuss with the students what are the challenges and what are their strategies to deal with upcoming challenges in global virtual teamwork. This is the reflection part for the students, while on the same day, right after the debrief with international managers, we are going to meet in the final grading conference. And this is also the one of the tasks besides the conference, where you are a sub-track chair or a track chair. Throughout the Global Case Study Challenge, you as educators are grading the activities that I just described. So we have the group activity, which is the video reflection of the team building. Then we have here at the Global Virtual Conference, we have a presentation, right? And while you are the sub-track chair, you are also grading the up to 7 groups that are in your sub-track. You're grading them on their virtual presentation performance, and you're giving them feedback. And afterwards, because they're getting feedback again from you, they can rework or integrate the feedback into the case study, their written submission. And this is the last aspect that you're grading. And all of that together, particularly the written submission, we are discussing the quality, the doubts, some points that are coming up always every year throughout the Educator Grading Conference. For all the activities for you as educators, we are providing you with an educator handbook. You have all the information, all the deadlines there. You have all the rubrics in the handbook, but also in the learning management system embedded. And in the handbook, we are providing you with a lot of examples on what great formative feedback and summative feedback means, right? But this is also what we do in the educator check-in sessions. We debrief and we discuss, because we do know that grading can be seen, perceived differently, depending on your country context, on the university you are coming from, and so on and so forth. So what you can see here is a slightly more complex virtual exchange project with different elements that we in the past years really had a very, very good experience with. Also, as we already mentioned, we have won for this design, for this experiential learning design, we have won several awards that we are really very proud of. And every year, through the feedback of you, our global educators, we are able to rework and continue elaborating on the concept of our Global Case Study Challenge. So what you have seen here is the timeline when your students need to be active and when you as educators also need to be aware that there is where the amount of the work is happening from beginning of October until end of November. Usually beginning of October, there is not really anything to do yet because the first deadline, I think, is in the third week of October when you need to grade the video reflections of our students. All this information about the activities that the students are going through is also on the webpage. In the description of this video, you can find also the link to this, plus the link to our timeline. And please, if there are any more questions, check out the webpage first, globalcasestudychallenge.com. We have a tab that is called Student Challenge. And if there are more questions, go to hello@globalcasestudychallenge.com, get in touch with us. We are happy to set up a call or discuss asynchronously any kind of doubts that you might have. Besides this, we're going to offer more information sessions and are happy to have you on board on the 6th edition. On the webpage, you find the possibility to apply for our student challenge, and we hope to see you very soon.